What's going on, guys? I'm going to be reviewing Blankos Block Party. Usually don't do games, but this time, this one's a little bit different because it's obviously built on the blockchain, and usually the stuff I cover is if something is investable. So I usually don't do games because there's obviously the gameplay aspect, and then there's the investability, and a lot of games haven't really come to fruition on the blockchain yet. There's not that many players, apart from a handful, so we don't really know the direction of those. Although I'm starting to get the gist of things, so I'll be reviewing kind of what Blankos Block Party is, a couple of different features about it, do I think it's a good investment, how you can invest, and all that sort of stuff. So, to keep it real simple, Blankos Block Party is a kind of a mix between, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the game Fall Guys, where you can just jump in.
Okay, little windy pups there as well.
Play a bunch of games with people and
I'm gonna try this.
And also Roblox.
We have succeeded.
And Roblox is a project where you can go in and build any game you want, and people can join your games. And then people, it's kind of like Minecraft, but a little bit more detailed. It's not just limited to voxels. But anyway, I feel like Blankos Block Party, which is this. Where are we? Yeah, this thing, this beautiful looking thing, is Blankos Block Party, and I have to say,
where you can create your own worlds and have your own adventures, where you are in charge, where you can make your very own games with your very own rules, and all your friends can come and play, like this one here.
The Roblox aspect, and it kind of the gameplay ability looks like Fall Guys. But at the end of the day, if you look at how they're monetizing, they're kind of selling in-game skins and items, right? So cosmetics and all that sort of stuff. And is it a big enough industry? Hell yeah, it is, because Fortnite did $2.4 billion last year. This article was written in 2019, so this is probably 2018. That's what they mean by last year. So in 2018, they made $2.4 billion, and check this out, raking in an estimate $2.4 billion over 12 months, which much of Fortnite's revenue comes from selling character skins and emotes. So Super Data says that 34% of all US players also purchased a seasonal battle pass. All right, say 34% of 2.4 billion is say 600 million, 700 million. So about 1.5 billion dollars in Fortnite skins at least. And they don't make you better in Fortnite. These are literally just in-game skins, right? It's just a cosmetic thing. It's just that they make you look good, and people love looking good. They love something scarce, and you guys know RuneScape, where party hats look pretty terrible, but they go for like $3,000 to $4,000 each because they're really rare. And obviously, wearables and avatars in virtual, in Decentraland, Somnium Space, all that sort of stuff. It has value because an artist has made them, and they're scarce. So suddenly, if you're building a game like this on the blockchain, and imagine something like Fortnite or any sort of game where the in-game currency or the in-game cosmetics are made, tradable as NFT tokens, I think they're going to do really, really well. And the cool thing about Blankos is that it's been covered by quite a lot of popular YouTubers already. So, for example, Captain Sparkle, I think he's got like 850,000 followers. Biffle, I think, has got like 500,000 followers. And the interesting thing, and I think this is the most interesting thing, is that they're covering it not on the aspect of is it investable. They're covering it on the aspect of it's a fun game. And to be honest, games moving forward or anything moving forward in the realm of blockchain, if you want to start hitting mainstream, you got to move away from this blockchain terminology or investability terminology, because the dominant people out there, they just want to have some fun. They just care about, chilling out, playing games. All right, some of us want to make some money. It's worth our time. We do it competitively. That's cool. But others just want to kick back, and they come home from like a hard 10 to 12 hours days of work, and they just want to kick their feet up and play some games. So the fact that a game built on blockchain, so it's built on EOS, by the way, they say they're platform or chain agnostic, so it doesn't really matter what chain. But the fact that it is built on blockchain, but it's been covered as a good game is a big freaking deal. That doesn't happen. That rarely happens. Usually, so far, the NFT industry have been like us nerds who really get NFT technology. And even like calling it an NFT is kind of going to get lost because people, non-fungible token, like how are you going to explain what a non-fungible token is, right? So the fact that, this got 144 comments, and a lot of comments saying that keep playing this game, it's awesome. It's like Roblox and Fall Guys had a baby. This map at the end was shipment from COD when he mentioned Skylanders, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the fact that they're liking it as a game is a big deal, right? So that's the big tick. The fact that, big YouTube, that's what we want, right? We want to build blockchain products that get covered by mainstream. And as investors, you want to invest in these blockchain products in the early days. So how do you invest in a blockchain game? You can buy NFT tokens that are scarce, that are kind of considered founders packs or kind of really early items. So in Axie Infinity, you have Mystic Axies, right? So Mystic Axies have gone from like Axie Infinity Marketplace. So Axie Infinity, as you guys know, is a game on blockchain built on Ethereum. I think it scales by previously being on Loom. I'm not sure what they're doing at the moment, but either way, it's a great game. And they've got quite a lot of users playing the game. So you look at Axie Infinity, right? And you search all the Axies. So all the Axies in the marketplace currently available. There's 18,555 of them. They're all, some are scarce, some are not. But if you go to at least one part Mystic, so each Axie has 6 parts. Now, if you bought Axies 2 to 3 years ago in the founders kind of pre-sale, you had a chance of getting any of your parts being Mystic. So these Mystic part Axies, where at least one part is Mystic, 6.5 Ethereum for a single Axie that's Mystic. Crazy, right? It wasn't like that. It was 0.5 Ethereum back in the day, and I think maybe went to 1 Ethereum back in 2018 and 2019, maybe to 1 or 2, and now it's just blown up. It went from 3 to 6.5 within the last 3 months as the Axie Infinity game has gotten more popular. And as the game continues to get more popular, the Mystic Axies, because there's only a scarce amount of them, there's only 239 of them for sale. So if you take this filter off for sale, so not for sale, there is 902 of them, at least one part Mystic, and there's obviously 2 parts Mystic, 143. So there's like 1,200, or maybe 1,300 Mystic Axies all up. And as the game gets millions and millions of players, you can imagine if Mystic Axies become the trophy item to own, they're going to go up in value. So I've got like 8 of these. I bought them at 3 Ethereum. I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to hold them. They're not really stronger. I think their parts can be upgraded, but at the end of the day, this game is very strategic. But the fact is, and the reason why I brought up Mystic Axies is because it shows you how a game is investable. So with Blankos Block Party, you can buy founders, or you could have bought, this is kind of over now, but you could have bought, here are the final supply numbers for the founders pack Blankos. So there's 4 founders packs that you could have bought, and the total supply for them, so 3,500 of these. I think they were like a couple $100 each or something. 2,699 of these. 2,589 of these, and 3,770 of these, and I think I got this guy. So if I go to, so 3,770 was the final supply. If I open up my Blankos in-game thing, I'm gonna move because I haven't played much, but let's see my shelf. I got this guy. I got number 2,406 of 3,770. So that, as we know in the art world, as we've seen, the mint number is really important. So if you've got something, say, under 100, I'm assuming it's going to be a lot more valuable. In fact, if you have something under 10, it's going to be even more valuable. It's all about scarcity. In this whole world of, in this whole world of blockchain and investing, it's about supply and demand. So if supply is low but demand is high, the value of something goes up. So for example, if this game does hit millions of people, then the demand will go up, and the supply of the founders packs, which considers you, I guess, an OG, will get really is low, right? It can't be increased, and it's provable by blockchain, but that doesn't matter in a mainstream game. The fact that it's rare does matter. So that's going to happen, and if that happens, and if the game does blow up, then these founders packs will probably go for a lot of money. And the really cool thing is you can unbox it if you want. I have it. I've kept mine in the box. This is not a toy in real life, but it does become one. Artist being Mel Chang. So that's one of their things, is they're going to get artists to do, come in and do like drops and make skins for the game. And I think that's really cool, because we know it, we've seen in blockchain, right? The art world is probably one of the biggest, most promising industry currently. Apart from games hasn't really picked up yet, because it does take a couple of years to build a game. So, you know, there's still a lot of development that needs to happen there, but definitely is looking very promising for both industries. But artists do provide a lot of value to any ecosystem, because as their popularity grows, so does their follower base, and that follower base will follow them and purchase their items based on that artist's look, and also they make the aesthetics of this really, really cool. So we got the final supplies, and looks like Jason says $1 million USD crossed. That was in December 15th for the Founders Pack. I don't know where you got that statistic from, but wherever it is, all right. Being built on the EOS blockchain is pretty damn cool. That's a lot of validity to EOS. I don't know if you guys have EOS, but I have a little bit, and you know, it's scalable, and that's what people like about EOS, and that's something Ethereum is not at the moment, although it has a lot of investor volume traditionally, mostly because of the art world. The chain's not really going to matter, and that's what we've seen here, that the people that are covering this project, they don't care about the chain. They don't care about it's on Ethereum or EOS. That's nerds like us care, right? Because we're so used to seeing all this. But as we break out of mainstream, they care if it's a good game and if they can play with their friends. That's it. A handful of them will probably care about making money and you know, having scarce items. But under all that, the tech, no one cares about the tech. 99% of people that will play this game, if it does reach the millions of people, they're not going to care about the tech. And I think that's one of the projections that we have to kind of keep in mind and you know, invest accordingly. So I should have done this first, but let's kind of roll it back and quickly look at the CEO of this, John Linden, who is, you know, this is Mythical Games that are the people behind Blankos Block Party. And John Linden has a wealth of experience. Comes from Prime Mythical Games. Linden was the president of Seismic Games, which developed Marvel Strike Force, Blade Runner, Revelations, and an unannounced TCG. So this is really cool. Seismic Games was acquired by Niantic Labs, and if you don't know who they are the guys behind, I believe, Pokemon Go. So that's pretty big. That was in 2018. Prior to Seismic Games, he was a studio head at Activision Blizzard, leading the Call of Duty and Skylanders franchise, both massive franchises. So you can say that John Linden knows his shit, right? That is so someone that knows what they're doing, that have a wealth of experience, and the team. Do they have the funding though? And that's really important, because traditionally, blockchain games are kind of made by indie devs that pull together maybe $50,000, $100,000, and then as scalability comes, and I don't doubt the ability for indie developers to make great games, because I'm sure they can. I'm sure they do make really good games. What I do doubt is that when they scale, when you have millions of players, you need a lot of security, you need a lot of server-side stuff, you need a lot of communication in the community, you need to be able to fund the development beyond, and that's when it's really nice to start to, you need to start hitting the tens of millions of dollars. And usually between that scalability line is where projects fail, if they even get there, because they're not smart or intelligent enough or business savvy enough to get to that point onwards. So you want someone who has that sort of business experience and also money. You need funding if you want to go big. So I found VentureBeat. They did an article saying Mythical Games raised 19 million USD on Blankos, right? And this comes after another round of funding, and I think the total amount, if I found it here correctly, where is it? I think they raised total 30. Oh, there we go. So Mythical Games raised 16 million US last year in two rounds, bringing total funding to $35 million to date. And this article was written in November 20th, 2019. So about a year ago. Yeah, about 1 year ago. Maybe they raised more, who knows? But they got a good solid 35 million USD. That's great. To build a solid game and launch it off the platform. So they've been covered by top YouTubers that have, they've got the funding, they've got a leadership team that seems like they know what they're doing. They're also based on a very popular game mechanics, which is Roblox and Fall Guys, both very popular, kind of meshing them together. I think they're on the right track. I bought one. I don't care if I missed the boat, and if I just bought one, that's fine. But if this game does blow up and does get millions of players, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to be like, well, this is going to go from 50,000 players to 1 million players, so you can jump in and purchase these founders packs from someone else. So that's usually when I get in, is when I can really confirm after beta that this is going to be something. But to be honest, I feel like this is something that's going to be pretty good. I remember when they did release their beta, a lot of people on my feed were playing the game and saying, hey, this is a really fun game, and having a lot of fun with their kids and all that sort of stuff. So you can do all that. Let's put it in there, so check it out. So you can get all kinds of items. Looks like you can get 1,000 Blankos bucks, I believe that is. Let's kind of go through the Q&A really quickly, but before we do that, let's show you guys a little bit more of the gameplay.
What is happening?
What I wanted?
I'm not much of a... Well, I used to be a lot of gamer.
Wait,
in like
I don't understand. How do I do
Be able
this?
to fly. Oh no. No, you have a
Oh, like
fly
we
thing.
actually
I
can't do
not.
this.
So you can
No,
see how you play with
you're
your friends, and this is
you're
obviously
hot
just
dog
beta,
flies. You
but
can do
I can
it.
imagine
Wait,
once
how?
this does get really good, and there's community-made content, which is key, because if the community makes content, the community will promote that content, and then their friends will play that, and that's like a loop as their content becomes better and better, and these games become really good. One last thing I wanted to go through is the AMA. So they did an AMA, and they did key points from this AMA. A couple of really cool things I found in here is the fact that it's open to all artists. So the skins that they're going to be making is it's going to be artist created. So I think they're going to monetize pretty much, I can say, purely off the in-game cosmetics. They haven't said they're going to have a token. I actually think they said they're not going to have a token. No plans for a Blankos governance token. So there's no plans for that. So do they need the governance token? No, because they're already, it's in the game industry. If you just have in-game cosmetics, it's already a proven model. People make a shit ton of, like, these games make a ton of money by in-game purchases. And now if they have a secondary marketplace and they get a fees of that as people trade amongst each other, I'm sure that's going to be a massive revenue source for them. They don't need a currency. Usually a currency or a governance currency is kind of made to fund the project initially, and then they go on and then people can purchase that and purchase a share in the company, technically. But in the case of a game like Fortnite, they don't really need to share that ownership, right? They don't need funding. They have they have a good cash flow model. They just need to increase their player base. So I think yeah, they have no plans for that. Also, yeah, it's open to all artists, so I think that's really cool, because the cosmetics economy is going to be really strong here if it gets to that level, and getting a lot of artists, it's kind of like collaborating and sharing the user feed. So for example, if a really popular artist with like millions of followers comes in and makes a skin, he will be sharing that on his socials, and they'll be bringing they'll be bringing some players from their socials to this game, and then they'll be able to monetize some of their creations. So I think that's a really cool thing about the NFT technology, is that artists in this space, it's not just making art, it's also creating items for different products. So you can also see with Decentraland, if you guys saw on my feed today, there was a Christmas party, a Christmas quest type thing, and we had quite a few artists that came in and built some of the wearables for Decentraland. So let me just quickly open this up. If you haven't followed me, please do. 11,600 followers, and I blog a lot about the NFT industry. But I found this really cool. The fact that artists, so Jonathan Wolf, Brian Brinkman, the Infinity Cow, I really like that GIF. But he made this kind of hoodie. There's this glasses. Ferocious made cloud shoes, which I think was really damn cool. And obviously Bitcoin jumpers and Dogecoin shirts. But the fact that artists are making these items, I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. And Blankos are also doing a similar thing. But whoever does that, where it's an artist, where it's community generated content, I think is in the right area. So do I think Blankos Block Party is a good investment? I actually do. I think it's a long-term kind of investment, because it takes time for games to kind of develop. One, they need to develop, stabilize, and two, they need to grow their community. So if this does blow up, I can see it being a thing. I think really quickly, if we go back to here, marketplace, no date yet, but the tech is coming. So I don't think you can trade it among each other yet. You can't take it even outside. So if you purchased the Founders Pack, you can't actually exit it out of the platform yet, which is fine, because again, it's a long-term thing. They're not, you can't view them as the traditional NFT project. They're something that appeals to mainstream. And although we want to start trading straight away, I think it's one of those things where, you know, they're focused on building the player base. They're obviously very serious. And I'm actually thinking this is probably one of the best shots at the AAA games that we have in the industry so far, apart from a couple of handful that are obviously there. I don't want to name them in the, because I don't want to be biased, but you definitely see them around. They're made on the EOS chain, so again, I want to point that out because usually I cover Ethereum projects, but I've learned to kind of respect that other chains do almost just as well, whether it be Hive, whether it be Splinterlands on Hive, or you know, on EOS, Blankos on EOS, or other projects on Ethereum, whatever it is. So I think it's a good investment. I think I would, if I only bought one Founders Pack, that's all right. But if I were to go back, probably still do the same. Probably because the crypto market's going to go nuts, in my opinion, in the next year. And my theory is that the cryptocurrency market's going to go crazy, and hopefully I'll make a bit of money, and I'll be coming back to these projects and be buying NFTs that I think will be really good investments. And at the same time, these projects will grow in user base, and they'll really give me a really good indication as to the direction they're going. I'm happy to wait 6 months or a year. For example, with the Axie Infinity thing, all right, I missed the boat on 0.5 ETH Axies. I missed the boat on 1.5 ETH Axies. Now I'm in at 3. There's 6.5 Ethereum now. But at least I know now, as they've blown up, that the user base is going to continue to grow. And I think the same thing is going to happen here. And I'm happy to miss the early boat, but jump in when I can confirm that the user base is going to grow pretty good. So that's my review. I think it's a good game. I think they're based on really important kind of viral gameplay anyway. I think there's a really good team behind this. I think they have great funding. Everything looks good to me. Looks good to me. I played a bit of the game, had a bit of fun. I can see how it will have mainstream appeal, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks for joining me. Share this if you liked it, and I'll join you in another video.